Hello, alchemical souls, and welcome to Hawthorne House. My name is Vivian, and today we are going to listen to the messages from the crows. I've been getting a lot of crow symbolism popping up lately, but in addition to that, actual crows have been showing up lately. We had a murder in the trees. A murder of crows. No murder in the trees. We had a murder of crows sitting in the trees. The treetops the other night. When I went out to go see them, they had disappeared. And then when I sat down to do this reading, I decided, well, I'll test it on myself first and see. And as I sat down to do the reading, I hadn't actually thought about incorporating the crow messages entirely yet, or how I was going to do that. And all of a sudden, outside the window, the crows started chattering. So I decided that we are just going to follow their lead today. I may do a few of these. If you happen to land on one of them, or discover one of them, or find one of them, then it was meant for you to hear, possibly. There may be messages within it for you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull one card from this Woodland Warden's deck. And then we're going to build upon that with tarot. I'm going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot, the Teeny Tiny Witch deck to clarify, and then possibly pull one other additional oracle card from somewhere at the end. All right. We'll center in. I already pre-shuffled all the cards, so we're just going to do a regular shuffle here with you. Deep breath in and out. Kind of tune into the energy of the reading. The messages from the crows. When the crows come calling, one should listen carefully. That was one of the things I heard when I was sitting down to do this reading. All right. We call upon the ancestors, guardians, and guides, the spirits and gods, both cunning and wise, with the understanding that you provide. We will see the direction we need for our lives. Interesting. Okay, so then I feel like this is going to be a look into what's coming your way, almost. The crows are calling. I'm getting 3 of Wands energy here. The crows are calling something into you. Or you're anticipating something and they are heralding its arrival. So let's go with that energy for this reading. Something's coming in for you. A ship of some sort is coming in for you. What news do the crows bring for our visitors today? Our honored guests. What do our what do our Corvid friends have to say? Let's see. Split deck. Always take and then receive. All right, here we go. What message comes from the crows? The finch and the peach, romance. All right. For some of you, for those of you in this particular reading, 36 could be a significant number to you. The finch and the peach here. You have a message of romance on the way. This could be a literal message. Somebody's sending you a message via online communication about romance, perhaps. Sweet as a peach. It could be a very sweet message. I don't necessarily get the sense that you're anticipating it. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Ooh, the mouse and the buttercup, innocence. Ooh, interesting. You have And then the coyote and datura, deceit, innocence and deceit. Let's see. Look here. I'm getting two different energies from this, right? Two different messages, I should say. The first thing I saw, the mouse and innocence here. The mouse and innocence represents a new beginning of some kind. There's also like a determination and persistence with it, because, you know, if you've ever had mice, they're very determined to nestle in. You could have someone very determined to build something with you here, but there's a cautioning with this coyote and datura. I hope I'm saying that right, with deceit. The message is sweet, but it feels like it's a sweet offer, but there's something you don't see beneath it. And you've got the ladybug in reverse beneath that, which is happiness. Happiness in reverse. Something you don't see. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. But there is a sort of willingness with the mouse and the buttercup to take a chance on this, and I'm not sure why. Let's expand upon it. Let's see with the tarot. What does the tarot have to say about this finch and peach, this romance coming in? The underlining, maybe you're worried about being deceived too. Maybe you are hesitating to take the message at face value in a manner that an innocent would take it. You know, you take it for what it says. Because you're afraid of being deceived, there could be a little bit of jaded energy there, rather than you actually being deceived. Let's see. We'll know more once we see where the cards fall here. All right. Okay. Hearing to pull 3. Why? Why am I pulling 3? What are they? Well, let's pull 3 and find out. You've got the King of Wands, interesting. You have the 5 of Cups, okay. And the 7 of Pentacles. The King of Wands, that's a very passionate, like, yeah, that must be it. Because with the 5 of Cups, you've been disappointed before. You've been disappointed before, and you might have fears around building something new. This King of Wands, this offer of romance, it feels like, or this message of romance, definitely comes from a place of passion, and like it's very controlled passion. I feel like there's a lot of it, but they're not trying to overwhelm you. Maybe the person on the other side of this can sense like your hesitation here. This sense of loss. You're holding on to what you have. Maybe because you are worried you won't have any more. Like you won't be able to grow new things with this. I find it interesting though, it just came to mind. You have sun, earth, and water here. Fire, earth, water. Those are the 3 things that you need to grow something. You plant the seeds in the earth, you water them. I just heard you water them with your tears. You water them with your tears. And the sun here nourishes that, nourishes these seeds. The sun and water nourishes the seeds. So the sorrow and passion nourish what's been planted here. It feels very slow growing, which I find interesting with the King of Wands here. With the King of Wands, I feel like it would be, of the kings, he's one who is quick to decide on things, quick to direct his energy. Maybe quick to direct energy, but not quick to unleash it. Slow and steady stream here of power. I don't sense any force here. It's like magnetic. They will draw you in. Oh, I want to see what's on the bottom of the deck before we go any deeper. Okay, the only card at the bottom of the deck, the star is reversed here. So is the Ace of Pentacles. The only card upright on the bottom of the deck is Death. And in this deck, Death is the Phoenix transforming. There's all that fire. From ash to flame, maybe? You rise from the ashes. So maybe this message, this offer of romance, this message of romance ignites something in you that helps dissipate this sorrow and disappointment, this sense of loss, and gives you the means or the strength or the desire to plant or plan something new. Let's shuffle the little deck here, the teeny tiny witch, and then we'll clarify, get a little bit more, go a little deeper. It's really interesting. I didn't expect this to be, it feels very much, I mean, this could be, it doesn't have to be like a romance specifically. This could be romanced by life even, but I'm really heavily picking up like a sense of courtship here. So if you're not interested in romance, this reading might not be for you. Because I don't know, it just feels like this is something, maybe you've had a lot of disappointment in romance in the past. And oh, I got this visual all of a sudden. If you've seen The Labyrinth. If you haven't seen The Labyrinth, you have to go watch it. If you haven't seen The Labyrinth, we are in a completely different like genre of age here. But if you have seen The Labyrinth and you remember the peach scene, I feel like you're worried that this peach is like poison or rotten here. That there's something wrong with it, you know. I don't necessarily think there is, though. I almost get the sense that it's like you getting in your own way of what's possible. But let's see. What's this King of Wands? Well, there's no hesitation through it. Ooh, lots of swords energy here. Alright. Well, let me just say, you have the Queen of Swords at the bottom here. So that might be you. Queen of Swords, Ten of Cups, Ten of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Chariot. Okay, well, before we look at that, we are going to look at that, though. We need to look at that, because you have the Knight of the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the King of Wands. Wait, okay. Let me think. Because in this Knight of Swords, you can see the crows, right? The crows. In this, sometimes you get this sense that he's fighting the crows, but in this reading, I'm almost getting the sense of following them. And harnessing that power, harnessing the power of the message, maybe. Harnessing that truth. There's a sense of like relief that comes from finding a truth in this message. Or this message leads you to find some truth about yourself and allows you to either embark on this journey with this King of Wands, because he's pointing at a map. I feel like this could be travel, or maybe it's the exploration of self, your own passions, something you'd forgotten. Let's look at the bottom here. Because right now, this tells me you are deciding which way to move forward, because you've got the Chariot here. The Nine of Pentacles, you're very happy being on your own. I feel like you went through some heartache. Like the Queen of Swords has gone through a lot. Maybe you are divorced. Maybe you've already done the family thing once, right? And it ended up being this burden that you had to carry with you. And now you've released that burden and you're kind of on your own and you don't know which way to go, because all of a sudden here's this new offer that maybe you weren't expecting, and you're still sitting in here maybe recovering. I'm almost sure you're like recovering from the heartache of whatever this situation here, this 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands situation was. You've like moved on from it. You've become your own sovereignty. You've embraced being alone, and maybe now you're like not sure you can do the not alone thing. Like you're not sure if you even want to embark on a new sort of romance, because you're worried about, you're scared of disappointment perhaps. The only card at the bottom here is the Two of Wands. You're looking towards your future, and there's that Chariot. You're looking towards the future here, and you're trying to decide, I don't know, which way you want to go with it. And I really feel like with the Death card up here, it's like, don't let your past disappointments, your past heartaches hold you back. I almost feel like this message is going to help you realize that it was holding you back. Maybe you didn't think it was at first. Maybe you were just happy being independent in you, and this message comes in and you realize, oh, I have stuff to work on when it comes to romantic feelings. Maybe I've closed myself off, and you didn't realize it. Let's see what the Seven of Pentacles is. What is the Seven of Pentacles? Why is it here? Just the one? We might have to expand upon that. Oh, no, maybe not. Here's the Knight of Cups. Here's that offer coming in. Someone wants to give you something. There's this sense of, there's that shark in the water though. You can see that the cat and even the person offering the cup, the knight, the one riding the broom here, there's this Knight of Cups. Neither one of them seem concerned about the shark in the water. They're like charging head first, charging head first into whatever this is. They're not afraid. They're not afraid of what's in the depths of your waters. They're not afraid of working through with this Seven of Pentacles. They're not afraid of working through your past disappointments, and might be hang-ups from these past disappointments that you aren't even aware of, that you're going to have to work through. Maybe this message, maybe this beginning of romance, this it might not even just be a message. You could be in the beginning stages of a new relationship and realize, wow, there's a lot of baggage that I am holding on to, a lot of deep, dark emotions that I didn't realize I wasn't addressing when it comes to romance. But they are unafraid of embracing those parts of you and working through them with you. Like more than willing here. Heart on the sleeve kind of energy. You've got the Hermit, and that's it. Magician reversed, and then Death again at the bottom of the deck here. The Hermit, you've grown very comfortable with yourself here, but this Hermit card, there's an owl up there in the corner. This Hermit card is telling me that there are things about yourself that you are still learning. And in that, I really think that a big part of those things you're still learning, you didn't realize you needed to rediscover about yourself. You left a huge, I feel like, and it's strange because there's no Tower cards here, right? There's no Ten of Swords, there's no Three of Swords. But I just get this sense that with this disappointment, it feels like the wounds have kind of healed over. They've scabbed over, right? But there's still pressure behind them. There's still something that needs to be released from this, with this Ten of Wands here. And not knowing which way to go. There's almost this sense of there's still more depth to you that even you have not discovered yet. Still more that you're holding on to from this and carrying with you. It's really interesting. Let's get a card of advice for you. Should we do the whispered, when my soul whispered? Let's do those, because I'm feeling the B cards today, and unconditional is still at the bottom of this deck. Oh, I forgot how thick these cards are. Yeah, I don't get... I almost feel like you're deceiving yourself now. You're deceiving yourself into stopping yourself from having a new beginning romantically with someone because you think, oh, it's like you've almost sworn off romance, right? And not even in a, oh, I'm never going to date again. It's just you decided you were happy single, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being happy and being single, but I almost feel like you're telling yourself you're happy when you're really sort of anticipating. Remember at the beginning I did say that, didn't I? Three of Wands energy. You're anticipating something coming in, and yet now that it's here, you're hesitating with this Chariot on which way to go. All right, I think it's okay to open up in this situation, though. Let's see. Card of advice, please, for our guests. What is the most important thing that they need to know? Here's Joy, the Sun. So that tells me that this is all... There's so much Sun energy in this without this actual Sun card having come up. This is the light that will help you grow from depths you didn't know that you could grow from. The light of joy. And then on the bottom here, you've got wisdom and journey, the owl and the Ouroboros. I'll show those to you as well. And I mentioned the owl and the hermit, right? There's still things to learn about yourself. Just because you've closed off an old cycle, cut out something that was very burdensome to you perhaps, but also very deeply ingrained in you. It was a very important part of you. It's a big thing, 2 10s here. Big energy, big endings, big foundations, but it felt like you had to cut those out. And it leaves you, maybe you've been on this journey of self-discovery, but now that self-discovery, it's like a partnership is forming to help you discover more, to help you reach depths you couldn't before. The story of the, oh, sorry about that, the phone. Sorry. I saw the thread in the darkness, the thread of spider silk. There's a story, I can never remember what it's called. But the thread is lowered down, and you try to climb up it. And rather than the story where the person tries to shake the thread so no one else can climb out of the hell, in this case, it's almost like this thread is tying you to the surface. It allows you, it's like your lifeline. It allows you to go deeper into yourself and still have someone who can help you rise out of that dark and deal with whatever these things that you thought you've laid to rest, perhaps, that you have not fully finished dealing with. They might come up during this romance. So maybe be prepared for that. If you're entering a new relationship and you think maybe you didn't have any hang-ups and little things start popping up that you're like, oh, this is not what I expected. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I want to sabotage this relationship? Why do I want to run away from it? You know, you could be feeling uncertain about that. I really feel like if perhaps you were used to turning away and maybe keeping those feelings to yourself during this really long committed relationship, or it doesn't have to be long, it could just be a very committed, maybe you had a family with them, maybe you were married, maybe it was long term, or you were really, really invested. But I feel like it's important. I lost the train of thought. I don't know where it went. It was like I had like grabbed onto something and it just disappeared, and there's a spider. Okay. Well, it's a little one. We'll let it do what it wants to do. Interesting. That's so interesting that the little spider just showed up. Okay, so when you find these hang-ups, rather than turning away from them, that's what it was. It was rather than maybe you would keep them to yourself or stamp them down in this situation. Maybe you didn't have someone who would dive into those feelings with you. This person, this King of Wands, whoever they are, male, female, it doesn't matter, neither, both, they are willing to be your light in the darkness, to help you illuminate these shadows and maybe even bring joy to them in a weird way. It's almost like the phoenix itself. It's like taking the ashes of what was, the relationship that was, who you were in that relationship, and revitalizing them, building it on stronger foundations, bigger flames, better, but like more controlled. It doesn't burn out of control and burn everything it touches. This is very steady growth. And it just feels warm. There's a sense of warmth here. So, that's what I have for you on this message from the crows reading. That was really interesting and not at all what I thought we were going to go over. But it feels like, while I would say trust your instincts, in this one I almost feel like be brave and trust that you can handle what you throw at yourself. Don't be cruel to yourself, but trust that no matter what you discover in those depths, you have a lifeline to reach the surface again. All right, well, I hope that this was helpful for you and that you enjoyed the reading. And if you did, please like or comment. I would love to hear about whatever the situation is for you and how it works out. And I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye for now.